Hi Dana, we're going to be talking about your paper here. You're going to be able to follow along with me because you'll see the yellow circle around the mouse. But the visual cues of your paper as well as what I'm saying should give you a pretty good indication of where I'm at. English research paper homework, we can make your title a little bit more creative than this. Homework, to do it or to die. I don't know, live free or die homework, something cheeky, I guess. You're good at coming up with stuff like this. Right here where you're actually getting into these sections and you're saying background and then you're going to come down to problems and solutions, that's fine. In an academic paper, labeling your sections is acceptable, though it's not necessary. The question that countless students, teachers, and concerned parents have been asking themselves for centuries is this: do the positive effects of homework outweigh the negative, or is it the other way around? In general, people tend to gravitate toward the extreme ends of the spectrum in this debate, but the complexities of the subject can make it difficult to determine if homework is innately good. I think this is an excellent beginning. Your writing is very smooth. It's very easy to read this. Very well done. As we start to come down here then, through analysis of this research, one can come to the conclusion on how best to improve school homework policies worldwide to ensure the homework good. Now I get a sense for where this is going. Now you're coming back here and you're telling me about the history of this, jumping all the way back to the 1800s and early education here in the United States. Good. Even coming back here to some of John Locke's ideas about the tabula rasa, or the blank slate. Excellent. Oh, excellent. And then even getting in here to Bach and talking about issues of who should or should not have homework and the systems that have been in place prior to this. Excellent. Your research here, your history, I think is very good. This is a good statistic. Really lends weight to what you're saying. Good. So what you've just done right there told me is that more or less the United States is on par with other countries. Just there's a fair amount of homework, but that homework doesn't seem to be absurd compared to what's being offered up in other countries. So whatever it is, maybe we should take away from that. But anyway, you're establishing a baseline, which is excellent. Good. Now we're coming in here to FCPS. I think that's a nice little way, addressing our own homework guidelines. Very good. And now we're jumping down to the problem. Good. Excellent. Even talking about problems with this at the elementary school and what that does to students' incentive to actually learn. A nice study here from Stanford. Very good. And now here we're jumping into your own work about students from Linganore High. Now, we could have some questions here about the validity of this, seeing as how your two options seem to be too much homework or not enough homework. Is there a possibility that students were offered just the right amount of homework? Students were also asked if they thought they had too much homework, not enough, or just the right amount. 70% said that they thought that they had too much homework, whereas 29% said that they had the right amount. Okay, so nobody thought that they had too little homework. That's interesting that they only fell into the two categories. I'm not sure what I think about that yet. We'll come back to the issue. Even including the physical symptoms in this, I think that's interesting because it's now coming at it from a different issue. Not only is homework good for you in terms of your academics, but is homework actually good for you in terms of your body and your stress, your physical health? I think this is a nice way to go about this. Now getting into the actual question of what kind of homework is being given, which is the purpose and structure argument that you're making here. Good. Dana, you've done a lot of work here in terms of actually researching educational policy and theory. Honestly, this is enough work that you could submit this as a college-level paper, and most college-level professors wouldn't really blink an eye at what you're doing. The big thing that we need to do is talk about your citations. So for stuff like this here where you're talking about Denise Pope, we need to be able to talk about where you're getting her work from and citing it properly. But outside of that, I am really very pleased with what you've done here. This is a ton of research, a ton of very good research. Now talking about the situation in Asia and how this complicates it. Wonderful. Something that you could do is talk about how the Asian schools are traditionally seen as some of the best in the world, and then asking the question if American schools have any desire or ambition to be that good, and how a desire to be that good could be complicated by our relationship to homework. To turn this even further, then you could talk about Finland, which offers up almost no homework, but has one of the best education systems in the country or in the world. So there you have like this weird trifecta of America, which seems to be caught in the middle, Finland, which gives no homework but is very good, the Asian schools, which give a ton of homework and seem to be very good, and maybe homework's not the issue. I don't know. What does this trifecta tell us about what we should be doing? Good. Make sure that your Works Cited page is its own page. We'll talk more about formatting next week, but as I'm looking over the Works Cited, it looks like you've also done a good job with this. Hopefully Noodles was helpful to you. Dan, I'm really happy with what you did. Take some of my suggestions about opening this up and thinking about it as a trifecta and whether or not homework itself is the actual problem, and to what extent this plays into having a good educational experience both in terms of your physical health and your cognitive intellectual achievement. Great. Have a good weekend.